Hello, how are you?
Fabulous. How about yourself?
I am doing wonderful, and we're
Yes, well, there you go.
early.
Despite the popular myth.
I know. I'm not going to say I was a little worried, but I was so happy to see it all worked out fine for you.
Yes.
Okay, and we pretty much, I guess we can just go ahead and get started now since we are early. Thank you guys, and hi everyone who's coming in, and I'm waving at everybody. Want to get started by letting you guys know. Thank you again for tuning into this episode of Tori Talk with me, Katori Langley. I want to introduce you guys to Kevin Cohee, the CEO and chairman of One United Bank. Big deal. It is the largest Black-owned bank in America. So I think as you just put all of that out, it's like, wow. Okay. So before we take up any more of your time, I want to jump in and start with you and saying, first, can you talk to us a little bit about your bank and how you got your start? Because everyone has been wanting to know this. These are all the questions I've been getting since we've been promoting your interview.
hmm Uh, well, which one would you prefer for me to start with, myself or the bank? Because they're both long stories.
Well, definitely you and then the
Okay.
bank.
Okay. Well, I would say, born into a family of Black Panthers. So since I was a child, I've been in and around the uh, so having grown up in the Black Panther Party, uh, I've spent my whole life in and around issues associated with Black people and the progress of Black people. If I think about the initial discussions that caused me to have an interest in this thing, just a second, because my picture's freezing up.
Okay, yes. I didn't want to stop you because I was listening to your story, but it was a little bad connection.
Yeah, like yeah, we try to do this on the telephone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay, we'll come back in. We're
Okay.
gonna, yeah.
Okay, guys. So thanks so much for tuning in. We had some little bit of technical difficulties, but Kevin will be back. Um, think about some questions, and if you guys want to, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but if you look down at the bottom, you see where the question mark is, and you can add your questions there. Please go ahead and add your questions as we're going along through the interview. So I'll stop and be able to put your questions up there for them. I know you guys had a lot of questions. Pretty much what we're going to be discussing today. One of the biggest things is we're going to do hashtag. Um, oh, and they're back. Let me put them back on here. Let's see.
And
Okay.
if it doesn't work, we're gonna spend 5 minutes to reconnect. So anyway, child of the Black Panther Party. So you know, my uncles who were teenagers at the time were saying things to me like, "Hey, look, Kev, man, we got enough people to be on the streets fighting this battle. We need to control some institutions. We need to own something like a bank, man. We're gonna make any progress in society." I was probably 4 years old when I heard that, and it started this quest, which was really rooted from another concept that came really at the end of slavery. When slavery ended, Black people were trying to figure out what could we do to effectively integrate into society. We
Mm-hmm.
were free, but we didn't have anything, and the white people certainly weren't interested in giving us anything. We had something called the Niagara Convention, and that was a meeting of the intellectuals of that time, Black intellectuals, and one of the concepts they came up with was the importance of a bank to help Black Americans attain economic and social parity in our society. So that's kind of the backdrop. So born with that dream, born straight, and I'm straight from the ghetto. I'm as ghetto as you could get. You couldn't get any more ghetto. The whole thing. I did the whole thing. But
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate and I had some gifts. I was a good enough athlete to get a scholarship, go to college. I played for the University of Wisconsin. Played football for them. I was their tailback. I was a good athlete when I was young, but I was also smart. And so I didn't really skip any steps. So I have an MBA. I have a JD. I went to Harvard. I worked on Wall Street at Salomon Brothers. I was rich before I was 30. I retired and then started fulfilling this childhood dream of trying to create an institution that could really galvanize Black Americans, where we could organize the capital of Black Americans and rechannel it back into our community to affect positive change. Our whole goal is about putting Black Americans in a position where we don't ask people to do things, we tell people to do things. We're able to use our economic power to create change. And so this is all about organize. See, money is a very powerful tool.
Mm-hmm.
Where you spend it, but also where you don't spend it. Corporations and governments are easily. That's if you want to get their attention. If you want them to them to think through your issues, then you need to exercise economic power. And
Yeah.
Being effectively organized, you can do that. Because let's say McDonald's, and we said to McDonald's, hey, look, how about we don't buy any of your hamburgers
Mm-hmm.
unless you get a board that has some Black people on it, you get some Black people in your senior management team, you implement hiring policies that involve training Black Americans, you're active in your community. And so this thing is designed as a tool to do just that, to take advantage of one of the things that's happened, which is we become organized. That's a
Mm-hmm.
whole nother story, but I should say that, okay? Big deal for Black people. Malcolm, Martin, every leader that we ever had wanted us to be organized.
Mm-hmm.
Well, guess what? We're organized thanks to their work, but to the internet. The internet organized us. This is part of the organization you're experiencing right here. Black people are connected. We're tightly connected and we're armed because we can communicate. Being organized and having the ability to communicate is a sea change in our effectiveness in the society. So this is a really important transition point for Black Americans. We are organized. Now what the next step is to be able to use that organization to affect change. And that's where your institutions come in. Your institutions have the resources to be able to take advantage of the organization to organize efforts to create change. That's what an organization like One United does. So, for example, we're organizing this thing called Blackout Day 2020, which
Mm-hmm.
is a number, which is all about it's about starting the effort to use our organization effectively to create change, for us to start to understand our power and how to use our power in our society. And because we're coming a long way. This is such an important point in time for us. We're organized, we have important allies, and our country's become a better place. I mean, thanks to the young people. The young people are better than the old people. The racist attitudes that existed for people my age are gone. Like nobody thinks that silliness anymore. Not even a lot of white people or
Mm-hmm.
brown people. And so you see Black people come together with their allies. You've seen us starting to use technology to become more effective. And so while things, are challenging when you look at some of the kind of things some of the ignorance that's happening out here in society, you also got to appreciate that look, black people getting killed in South Georgia was happening since we got here in 1619. Black people getting killed on the corners of inner city communities like Minnesota's been happening forever.
Yeah.
Today, those people are being brought to justice, and as difficult as it is to look at it, that's an important step forward. So we're at a really interesting time for us. So I gave you a little bit on me, and I gave you a little bit on the bank.
That was a perfect answer. That answered kind of everything all in one way. And we do have some people who have some questions for you. But the one thing I want to know is, why did you feel like it was so important for you guys to get involved in Blackout Day 2020? I'm speaking on, like you said, what's going on right now and trying to get, millennials in, to your bank. I hear so much from folks that, I would buy Black or I would support Black if I knew where it was. Well, guess what, guys? This is the bank right here.
OneUnited.com. 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 We look. We have one of the best mobile banking product, if not the best banking product in banking. Our products aren't as good as Wells Fargo or Bank of America. They're better than Bank of America, Wells Fargo. And so sometimes it's hard for us to recognize that we have excellence too. One United Bank is an example of Black excellence. We operate on a nationwide basis. We're growing. Our growth is strong. Our product, we embrace our community. We help our community. We do everything from things like the PPP loans to leading social movements like Blackout Day 2020. So it is so important that we work together. That's our strength is in working together to recognize I can't separate myself from you. You can't separate yourself from me. At the end of the day, who are they going to group together? You and me. That's how it's going to be. And so we're at an important inflection point as a people. And so we're trying to do our part to make sure that we understand where we are, and that's a big part. Where are we in this struggle? And this goes to your question of why support something like Blackout Day 2020. You may not be old enough to remember Public Enemy, and Public Enemy talked about
I'm 28.
Ooh, okay, there you go. Okay.
Oh my God, I wasn't old enough to be in, but I'm old enough to know. Let's go there.
There you go. Okay, so remember Public Enemy's song when he was talking about I like Nike, but wait a minute. You hear that line? Are you gonna put it in essence? That kind of attitude, that kind of attitude, we need to make into a reality. Well, what is Nike doing? Do you even have any Black executives at all? Do you use any Black-owned vendors at all? Or what's your recruiting program? All of these are questions that we as a community need to put to corporations and government entities, and that's how you start to affect change. That's how you can start to move beyond political cycles to where you can constantly, no matter who's in office, be able to move society in a way where we can get to where we need from an economic parity standpoint, from a social justice standpoint.
Perfect. And as you guys can see, Kevin is clearly an example of Black excellence. Look at how he speaks and what he's speaking about. All important things, all things we need to, kind of take from this conversation and say, hey, we're going to do these. Definitely implement these after this interview is over. I'm going to jump into a couple of your questions because Kevin kind of has a heart out, but.
Okay. All right. Well, go ahead. I'm going to give you guys because I want to answer your questions. The people are everything, and it's so important, for us to understand what's going on. And so anything I can do to be helpful, I want to be helpful.
Okay, here's one here. How do nonprofits get accounts? I tried the website and it's not user friendly.
Well, the website is primarily designed for individuals. And so whether it's not-for-profits or whether it's corporations, that's a whole different set of rules related to what you have to do to know your customer. So the website is for individuals, not for not-for-profits. and not for corporations. If you're a corporation or if you're not for profit, that's something that really needs to be done in a branch. So we have branches in Florida, we have branches in California, we have branches in Massachusetts, specifically Boston, South Florida, and the inner core of Los Angeles. So if you're one of those things, if you're not for profit or if you're a corporation, you're going to need to be in one of our markets in order to open up account. The accounts online are for individuals.
Okay, perfect. Here's another one. One United franchise opportunities.
Franchise. Well, One United Bank is not it's an FDIC insured commercial bank, so it's the same as Bank of America or Wells Fargo. It's not a business that lends itself to franchises. Banks don't franchise it. They don't have that model of doing business. Something like usually fast food chains, but it could be many different types of businesses that are franchises. But banking isn't one of them where any deposit you put in the bank is guaranteed by the government. You can't lose money. We're a regulated entity. We're like the real thing.
You are not you are the real thing.
Yeah, we are the real thing. Yeah, we're like literally the actual literal real thing.
The real thing.
So yeah, exactly.
Another question is, how is your work-life balance? That's a good question. I feel like you're crazy busy.
Well, like my son who's sitting here, who manages me and puts me around, show me the thing. It's like the way I see life is you should do. There was somebody who gave a big talk about this yesterday. I thought it was interesting. I can't think of it. It was Warren Buffett, and he was talking. I like listening to really old successful people sometimes because they've had a chance to make all the mistakes that there are. And so, so Warren Buffett was talking about work-life balance, and he was talking about the importance of getting involved in something that you really like to do. And then if you're doing something that you really like to do, then it's not like work. Mm-hmm. And I was just really never the kind of guy. I was not going to be doing anything that I didn't want to do. I'm just not that dude. Yeah. And so here again, on that point, one thing I do want to say that I think is critically important is we're at a unique point in history to be able to make money. I believe this is the easiest time that there has ever been to make money because of the internet. See, we as Black people are experts at using Twitter, and expert at using the gram, yes, experts at using Facebook. We're like masters of it, but we don't know how to make any money.
We're good at spending it too.
Yeah, we're good at spending it, but we don't understand the importance of being able to use the internet to make money. With the internet, it's leveled the playing field. That's like where you were educated, who you know, all that goes out the door when you're talking about the internet. And anybody who's going to be successful now, you have to have a strategy where you're selling over the internet, and it's wide open. There's nothing that the ability to reach tens of millions of people who have very specific characteristics has never existed before. You can reach large numbers of people for very small dollars, and we can. I've talked to you for 10 minutes. I can guarantee you, if I can sit here and if I kept talking to you, you got a product in your head. You have something you've experienced. There's something you know about. It could be anything from some kind of makeup to some kind of earrings to some kind of this or that or the other. And those ideals are very important now, because now you have a vehicle to be able to execute against those ideals. So the most important thing, the most important message I can give you is you gotta learn how to make money over the internet. and that you saw the difference in businesses, and businesses that survived and businesses that didn't survive through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
The key differentiating factors: were you able to keep doing business? Were you able to keep selling your goods and services? And those who were selling through the internet were able to sustain much better than most. In case of One United, we were able to grow. We put on 40,000 accounts in the last 2 months, and
Oh, wow.
so and so which we want to continue. So we need all of you to go to oneunited.com and sign up for an account.
Right
That's
after this.
there you go. That's opportunity for financial literacy, opportunity to for access to capital, and for opportunity to participate in something, in a movement that's really about you. It's really about design. It's really about making our people stronger and more effective in society.
Okay, Kevin, just gonna
Right.
take one more question, and then I know you have to leave.
Yeah, I got to go. Okay, one more question. I got to get out.
Yep. So it says, asking why don't
Kevin.
you take One United public? Because it said you can buy. You go to the whole thing.
The public would love to buy shares and
Buy
increase.
shares, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I believe me, you would love to be able to buy shares in One United at this point. I totally understand that, but the reason I don't is because it's about it being black owned. See, what we at some point will offer up shares, but the most important thing about One United Bank is One United Bank is the real deal. We are unapologetically black. We are all about the black agenda. That's all we do. We aren't beholden to anybody. Nobody pulls our strings. There's no big corporation or something. We don't
Mm-hmm.
sell other people's products. We sell our products. It's our technology. We made our technology to be able to operate on a national basis. And so for us, because of the importance of One United Bank being able to be an unqualified supporter of black causes, there's nobody who could give me a call and like, hey, Kevin, we don't like this, or we don't want to do that, or we got some opinion about this, that, or the other. That's just not happening. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's the point of that's the most important thing in the company. One United Bank is for real black, and and we don't answer to anybody. Now, in terms of people participating in the company from an economic standpoint, it's something that we haven't. Sometimes we think about it, but for us, it's really just to be I had money before I got involved with One United Bank. That was so it was never about the money for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's really about, yes, we think it's important to build a company because I want all black people to build companies to make all the money there is. We get that. But this thing is, this is one of a more foundational piece of the community. This is your bank. This is Black America's bank. So it has to be independent. It has to be strong, and it has to be able to be active, no matter what anybody thinks.
Perfect. So thank you again, Kevin, so much. Just so you guys can remember, depending on when you jumped in, Blackout Day 2020. That's a hashtag. Make sure you guys follow that. It's going to be on July 7th. Kevin, please let them know how they can get involved with this, and then where they can follow you at, and the importance of the day.
OneUnited.com. That's all you need to go. OneUnited.com. OneUnited.com. Check us out. We are an example of black excellence. Thank
Perfect.
you.
Thank you guys so much. Talking to you. Thanks guys for tuning in.